what's the best way to supply lighting to the plant?
I guess we figured
environment.
out the
I guess we figured it out. We're just going to leave it.
We did.
Yep.
We did.
All right. You know what? If you're listening to this or you're watching this, because Chris just wants
We all
to
know.
say,
We came to a
we know
conclusion.
that we know that. Yes.
And the audience is going to realize it at the end as well.
That's right.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay.
The best. Go ahead.
Best lighting. All right. I'm going to say it. Affordable LED lights. For one, your lower electricity bill. Absolutely. Two, the spectrum. If they're white-based LED or full spectrum, you could see your plant. When I had, and you're not going to argue with me because I'm looking at your plant over there. But if there was a high-pressure sodium situation, you know how many times I had yellowing plants that weren't crisping and I had no idea they were yellowing? That the green was a pale, sickly, I'm hungry yellow. And I was like, no, they look great. They're perking up. And then I pull them out and I'm like, whoa, these are vibrant yellow. What is going on? Well, you can't tell from the naked eye with that. It just isn't viable. Sometimes you can if it's the plant that's low enough where it's being shaded by that light and you're not getting that orange yellow light. But LED is the way. You don't have to deal with changing out your bulbs like you do. You do have a driver, but it doesn't heat up nearly as much as a ballast would, which is what will help power. It'll be like your middleman between your power source and your actual light itself. The hood, air-cooled hood that you need to be able to potentially cool. No, we don't do that. We've got heat sink conversations because we're using bar-style LEDs. So I think, again, neither of you guys are going to argue with me. I like you playing devil's advocate, but I won this one.
Well, I'll take this one then. I'll argue with you on this one.
Yep, you take it.
The best way to grow for lighting is no indoor lights. Outdoors. The sun. Duh. Replicate double Mother Nature.
Duh, dumbass. He's like, I'm gonna let him keep talking.
You guys see where this conversation is going?
It's toxic. It's like, you know what? You suck. Turns out I'm better. My gardening practice is the best.
I was gonna say the same thing. I think greenhouse is the way to go. I don't do it, but I would also say the same thing. But like when we talk about medium as well, it's like I personally,
hydroponics
even
the
though
best. Hydro.
Yeah. Yep. There we agreed.
Hydro. I like he just planted the seed to make me look bad in the chat. Is what he did. He's like, no, yeah, exactly. Yep, hydro.
Yes,
hydro.
The best for what though? The best for yield,
best
or
for
the
fast vegging.
best for potency, or the best for fast vegging, or the best for biomass. You know, and things like that.
I look at it like
best way to get the nutrients.
It needs to be
plant.
more clarified, more, and the deeper way. Best way of growing is very broad.
So
it really is.
Best terps by nature. Don't agree with that. People have all these conversations. I don't agree. Easiest growth, organic. No?
Think so.
I think the easiest growth is organic.
Easiest
and not
way to grow
living
is
soil. Living soil. Let me be specific. Living soil, I think, is the easiest. Most advantageous, synthetic. I think synthetic is because that control argument is the reason you can crop steer. It's the reason you can push your plants further. It's the reason you can give one plant a little more than the other. I can't argue that. But if your end result is to smoke good flower, it's neither here nor there. If you're pushing to take it to the next level, then I get that. Simplicity, again, now you kind of got me in a hard argument because it's neither here nor there because I'm going to just follow a recipe that somebody else laid out.
We said this a long time ago, too, about how I can make synthetic as easy as I want.
That's what I'm saying is
and
if I take the Pigeons formula.
And I can make synthetic as difficult as I want to. It's a double-edged sword, and we like to play devil's avocado for each other, and it's like
we don't really like each other. Like
they're starting to figure it out.
Us for this show. This show is actually his now, and he's got us together. Again, don't like him, but just to be able to do this show, I want to prove that the best way of growing is obvious, and we'll get to that shortly.
Yeah, it is, and it is very obvious.
I think the simplicity factor definitely depends on your nutrient line. It definitely depends on your end goal. Your pot size is a big thing, too, because if we're looking at the ones I'm looking at over there, brother, you'll be feeding those a lot more frequently. If
they need a transplant.
Exactly.
They're hungry.
But if we have big pots, then yeah, once a week. I had an 18-gallon, like a clothing hamper that I used, and I drilled holes into it, and I just grew a big plant in there, and I watered that thing once every 10 days. Like, literally, every 10 days. And it was just, and that's when I'd feed, too. So I totally get that. It's like made me think about it as you were kind of comparing. I'm like, my argument all of a sudden just is eliminated. The argument I can only have now is reusability, sustainability.
Yeah,
not having to buy
one of
more.
you said, do you reuse your?
Me, I was asking you that.
Yeah, I have.
Do you?
I use it for an alternate purpose now.
Okay.
I level out my backyard with it.
My dad's backyard, it used to be level, and now it's over the window.
Oh
So,
yeah,
like,
I like to I
The
got some
window's
spots.
buried, and there's just,
There's not many places you can go in my backyard where you just don't move the grass aside, and there's perlite.
I think that's why Wink almost rolled his ankle when we were playing hacky sack the other day.
Yeah, it needs to be
Almost.
further leveled out.
Yeah.
Is that why it's bumpy back there?
Yeah, there's spots that he's
That's
just
great.
laid it. But that's probably why you have the best grass in the neighborhood, and then some.
Best grass, yeah.
Dude, think
It's
about
but
it.
he's got
though.
a prized lawn.
Like,
you should
seriously,
enter
though.
competitions and be.
I'm not even talking, dude. Like, I'm serious. Like, you
Thank
got
you.
a really nice lawn.
Thank you.
And now it kind of makes sense because you, in a sense, the sustainability argument does go for, well, I'm using mine for these plants. Well, I'm using mine for these plants. Your grass.
Yeah.
Can't argue that.
Yeah.
Honest-
Reusability is key, though. That's a big thing.
It
you
is
gotta
a big
think
factor.
about, is trying to be
Sustainability
able
build
to
it.
use a lot of that, and
Well,
if
and
you're
it gets better.
filling. Yep.
That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
is
Particularly with organic.
with organic soil, that's my argument. That's gonna beat your grass, beat your punk grass down, boy.
Nope.
Is the fact that me and Chris, because I think he's on my side, he's just kind of devil's avocado. We're able to get better soil over time. That's the. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. We're technically able to. Our first is the worst. You know what I'm saying? Like the longer it goes, some of the microbial inoculants take longer to really develop the colony in there, and the more you go with it, the better your soil could be. Green Goblin had 5-year-old. Now at this point, it's like 15-year-old, but he had like 5-year-old soil at the time that was his nutrient. He'd do a tea with his soil because it was compost. There's so much life in that still that he was just like, yeah, I just take it and I'll usually steep this for a while or I'll bubble it. Like, oh wow, you have turned your soil into your nutrients, to your food. That's a little harder to do with what you're doing over there, bud. Your yard looks nice, though.
Yeah, it does. But you know what? You can reuse in many different ways. Whether it's the potting mix that's going to be used, whether it's the runoff solution that you have, because you can also use that to feed your grass as well.
Oh, the grass is great. The grass is great. How's
Bring up the grass.
Can you reuse those water bottles that you get for anything? Or nutrient bottles? I used to
They're
be an
recyclable.
Oh yeah, you can recycle them.
Yep, and you very clearly didn't get your Christmas gift.
Because I ended up making homemade maple syrup in there, and I put it in the VPS bottle.
And in the moose antlers.
It was in the flavor bottle. You're like, this is flavorful.
Yep.
Put in the flavor. See, that's the only argument I can really give, man. Because to be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you guys for once. Been lying this whole time, but
Okay.
I've done a side by side with organic and synthetic, and I didn't notice a difference in the flavor. My arguments were ease of use and sustainability. That was it. I did Headbanger, which is, I've got so much experience with that one. Like, I'm intimate with it. I know that one. Nothing different. Other than the fact I just watered the plant. And then when I flipped the flower, I top dressed, and then I just watered the plant. That you cannot argue is, because I didn't have stash plant at the time. Didn't exist for me.
Don't
Wasn't
tell me
a real
I can't
thing.
argue.
You
'Cause I'll
can't
find a way
argue
right. I'm already thinking
the
of a way right
fact
now.
that I had no bottles, not a one,
I also think
and nothing added to it. I could have done more. Like you're saying, overcomplicate it or complicate it. I could have done more, but I didn't. This FTS clip was brought to you by AC Infinity, leaders in garden innovation. Use discount code TheStash15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast.